everyone, welcome to another speed build. Hope you've all had a wonderful day. So today I am building a cozy one-bedroom cabin in Granite Falls, heavily inspired by the new werewolf pack that's coming, I think, next week. I know it seems to have quite a industrial kind of feel to it from the previews and the trailer and things that we've seen. However, in my mind, werewolves kind of live in the forest and I think it kind of has like a logging industry kind of feel to it anyway, like the new pack. So I figured a cabin in the woods kind of made sense. And I wanted to build something cozy, something that included a couple of bits and pieces that I haven't really used very much, like this wallpaper from Snowy Escape. I definitely wanted to use that because it's got some textures on it that we don't really have very much of in the game. It's quite, I don't know, it's very detailed, and quite a lot of the other wallpapers and stone and wood that we have is quite soft, like it's got a bit of a blur over it. So I wanted to use something that was a little bit sharper, a little bit more detailed, and I really love this, especially on the inside. It just looks really cozy. So that was my idea with this one. I thought it was something that you want if you wanted to take your Sims to Granite Falls, maybe to do the outdoor retreat aspiration that came with the pack, then you know this would be the perfect place for it, especially when I ever play this pack or when I take my Sims on vacation in general. I don't very often take the entire family. I'll just take like one Sim or two Sims. So I thought a one-bedroom rental cabin seemed appropriate, and I wanted to use quite a lot of, I guess, conflicting colors in this. I wanted it to look like it had been out here for a little while. Maybe it had been in my Sims family for a couple generations, and the furniture that's been collected isn't necessarily something that matches. It's a little bit like bits taken from different generations, you know, like one family has added the sofa and then the next generation the dining table is added, that sort of thing. So it's a little bit kind of mix and match in here, but I thought that was a really nice idea. I haven't really done anything quite like that in a little while. I tend to stick with like all the furniture from the same style or the same pack, and like with this bedroom I put like the two bedside tables are matching, and I wanted it just to be a little bit different, so I used a stool instead and a crate for the other one. I did want to add this little detail in with the lamp, which I've done a couple times before. I didn't do it anywhere else. I'm not sure why. Probably because I don't really have any lamps anywhere else in this building. They're mostly like wall lamps or ceiling lamps, which I didn't include that many lights. Normally I put like lights everywhere because I like it to be nice and bright and be able to see what I'm doing. But as you'll see in the screenshots, it's quite dark on the interior. But I really like it. It adds to that kind of extra coziness. So when it comes to activities in this one, I didn't really include that much. I only included the woodworking table, which I put out here. I don't think I put anything else because I thought, you know, your Sims probably come out here and do fishing, they do bug collecting and maybe some gardening collecting. They'll come and see the hermit, and yeah, that's probably all they're really gonna do out here. They might maybe do some jogging or something, but in general they're not going to be doing too much skill building because they're going to be focusing on their aspiration, I imagine, or that was what I had in mind anyway. So I wanted to do something interesting with the roof on this one so that it kind of just looked a little bit different from what I've done before, because I mean you can only build so many cabins and then them have all look the same. So I wanted it to look just a little bit different, so I thought I would do a custom roof. These pieces are they're exactly the same, they're just slightly different sizes, but I think they're from the Strangerville pack and maybe the Eco Lifestyle pack, I think. I'm not entirely sure, but they look exactly the same, and like I said, the only difference is the sizing, so I was able to layer them over really nicely like this. I didn't include the whole thing in the video because it would have literally been half an hour of just watching me play around with the roofing, so I did like one whole side and then we skipped to kind of the end of me doing the tall bit, so hopefully that's okay. I did have a inspiration picture in mind when I did this, but I've changed it so much by the end of the video that it doesn't even look like the inspiration picture anymore. But basically what it looked like was everything was made of wood. Obviously it's a log cabin, but like the roofing was made of wood, and then the front kind of awning roof section had this, like, I don't know, almost like a corrugated iron look to it, which I really liked. So I've changed it to this green color because I thought it made a little bit more sense. Maybe it's covered in algae from the rain or moss or something. And then I put these little driftwood pieces up on the top here. I was a little bit worried that it looked a little bit too much like antlers, but that was kind of what I was going for, where I tried to use this, I don't know what it is, thing from Journey to Batu, but it looked a little bit too realistic, so I thought I would just stick with the driftwood. And I quite like the way that it looks. You can't really see it, it kind of blends in with the wood on the roof a little bit, but I like the way that it looked anyway. So I am a little bit all over the place when it comes to what I'm doing at the time in this video. So I kind of put down all of the main furniture pieces, and then we jump right onto the outside, and then I go back in and do all of like the detaily bits once I've done the landscaping. And I found it a little bit easier to do it this way, especially in this build, I think, because I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I thought if I would just do what I wanted to do on the landscaping, because that I kind of had a little bit more of an idea, and then when it comes to adding like the little detaily bits, I thought I would just go through the catalogue and just see kind of what I liked from the catalogue and go from there. So out here I wanted it to be very I don't really know how to explain it, like it's basically in the middle of the woods, which the lots in Granite Falls, some of them are a little bit smaller. This one is one of the bigger lots, I think it's a 30 by 40, but they don't really give me that like enclosed, you could possibly get lost if you didn't have a map sort of vibe. You definitely know exactly where you are, so you know, I wanted to make it look a little bit more cozy, add quite a lot more trees, but also didn't want to overload the entire lot. So that's why I thought it would be better on a bigger lot, so then I could kind of blend it out a little bit more without making it look too completely crammed in with trees. In terms of the terrain paint, I don't really do too much. I wanted it to be as kind of blended into the world as possible. The front path bit I do have quite a trouble with for some reason, and I like delete it and go over it and delete it. I think I do it like 3 or 4 times, and I just couldn't get it right, and I wasn't really sure what I wanted because I didn't want it to be too like obviously stood out from the rest of it, but I also wanted it to look like it had been here for a little while, so I thought I would go with a couple of different ones just to blend it in a little bit. So most of it is the stone that you can kind of see, and then I think I've used like the pine needle kind of one, and there's kind of like a grassy one under there as well somewhere. But I thought it looked really nice blended in together, and I wanted it to look like it had been here for a while, like I said, so hopefully it doesn't look like it stands out too much, or you know, that it looks a little bit too odd. So I add quite a lot of detail out here. I put some mushrooms and a couple of other bits and pieces. I do try and add like the water tap thingy from Cottage Living and a couple of other things from that pack, and end up deleting them because they just don't look right. I don't know whether it was, I don't know what it was, but I just didn't like the look of them, and I wanted to make it look, I don't know, maybe to me it just looked a little bit too feminine, and that kind of was what I was looking for. Like, does that even make sense? Like, it looked too cottagey, and that kind of wasn't the idea that I was going with. I wanted it to be a little bit more cabiny. I don't know what I'm talking about. That doesn't make any sense, but hopefully you understand what I mean. So I'm adding a couple of these ivy pieces to the roof, which kind of ties in with what I was saying about wanting to make the corrugated irony roof section look like it was covered in moss or algae or something. And just a little bit overgrown. Like I said, it's been here for a little while. It's not so much run down, but you know, it's still somewhere that maybe my Sims only go like once a year, or maybe not even that often, maybe like once every couple years. And so it doesn't really get looked after very much. It kind of just gets left, and you know, they tidy it up when they visit, but in the meantime nobody ever comes to check on it. It just kind of gets left here. Probably could have added maybe some like wall cracks or some spider webs or something. I think that probably would have looked pretty cool, but you know, hindsight. So inside I went with a kind of fishing cabin kind of theme. I added some of the fish to the walls, and I also put in some debug fishing rods, which I think look really cool. I do wish that they were a little bit bigger. I mean, I know it wouldn't obviously make sense, because if they were any bigger then they would look odd when your sim was actually holding them, since they're debug items. But maybe as like a wall decoration or something, they could afford to be a little bit bigger. I think that would be really nice. So that little thing that I've just added above the cooker, I had every intention of filling that with like jars and things, and just never got around to it, so it remains empty unfortunately. But I thought it looked really cool as like a little shelf that you could put like different condiments or herbs or something in, and I don't know why I forgot but I never ended up like adding it in, so never mind. But from here on we're basically just adding lots of different decoration items, and like I said, I was just kind of going through the different categories and seeing what there was and what I wanted to add. So I jump around quite a lot, so I do apologize, but you can see them all in the screenshots at the end, which I really like the screenshots. So like I said in my last video, I've recently switched over to Gshade after Gshade decided to not work for some reason after the update. And I'm using the Dove preset, which I think I've used since it came out last year sometime. Actually no, I've been using it a lot longer, because I was using the original one, and I don't know why, but for some reason it stopped working. Like, this is a while ago now, it stopped working, and I changed it over to something else, maybe like the kaleidoscope one. And in the end I think I just deleted Gshade altogether, because my game was just like way too laggy with it in. But then yeah, so recently I've changed it to Gshade, and I really like the way that it looks. It's probably a little bit dark for my liking, so like at the moment what you can see, I've basically just turned all of the like heavy filters off, so MXEO's off, all of like the depth of field things are off. So this is just like the colors, and I really like it, but it is just a little bit dark for me. I do prefer having like a really bright and colorful preset, but to be honest I'm too lazy to kind of fiddle around with it. So I think I'll probably just leave it like this. But yeah, like I said, the screenshots for me are a little bit dark, but I know quite a lot of people do like that, so you have to let me know whether they're too dark for you and whether they need brightening up a little bit. I can probably I don't know, change one of the settings slightly and make it a little bit brighter. But yeah, hopefully you like them. But yeah, I will leave you here. Hopefully you will enjoy the rest of the video and the screenshots. Let me know what you think, and I will leave you with some nice music to listen to. So I hope you all have a lovely day, and I will see you all next time. Bye everyone.